Okay, so now we're coming to the last event of the day. And this is the very new Process Miner of the Year Awards. We are doing this for the first time this year. So it was, I think, February or so that we had an announcement and basically asked people to submit their projects. And the reason is that we see so many more and more applications of process mining. We just see it here at Process Mining Camp, but of course, outside of what you hear here on stage, there are so many different projects going on. So we wanted to find some ways to capture that and also use it to inspire new people entering the field to see, well, what are these possibilities that can be done. And so I think the submission deadline was end of April or something. We did it for the first time, just announced it through our blog and the group and so on. And so we were very happy to find that we had around a dozen submissions, and most of them were really, really good. So in the end, it was really difficult for us to also decide, well, who should now be the Process Miner of the Year. And so we didn't give like a checklist or something that you had to fulfill. But what we were saying, what we were looking for were projects who are inspiring or transformative or have a particular impact or maybe are especially innovative or maybe had to overcome particular challenges in a very creative way. So we were very open, very deliberately to keep this open and make it very broad so that people could submit their project and highlight what they found special about it. So so in the end, we decided that the winner for this year's Process Miner of the Year will be the submission that was handed in by Weco. And actually, some of you may remember it because Joris Keizers, who's also sitting here and will receive the award in a moment, presented the story of Weco and their process mining journey last year at Process Mining Camp. And so I'll steal some of the slides from yours from last year to explain to you why we made that decision and why what the reasons were that we chose their project for this year's Process Miner of the Year. Well, the first reason was that, I think it's very good to show and to see that there are manufacturing processes that can be analyzed with process mining. And we had one talk today as well from Giancarlo from Zimmer Biomate. But just in general, we see that many of the examples and applications we see about process mining, they're often about service processes. And I think that's an inspiring element also to give to the community to say, well, we can analyze manufacturing processes where we're actually really following certain steps, with physical products, and we can still capture it through our IT systems and analyze it with process mining. So there's, like Joris showed, the lithography, and then electroforming and coating. So there are all kinds of stages that their, very high precision metal production process has to go through. And so they were successfully analyzing this with process mining. So that's part one. The second reason was that, let me see. The impact of the project. So, like Joris explained last year, the lead time or the overall throughput time of the whole process is very important for this type of process, because only at the very end you can actually determine whether a product is defective or not. And often the mistakes actually occur very early in the process. So if it takes 3 weeks until you know that something wasn't going well in the beginning, actually you have a lot of things that are probably going wrong also in the meantime, and you have to go back and do it all over again, and the customer is waiting, and it's incurring a lot of costs. So throughput time is the most important element. And like Joris explained last year, is they have a strong Six Sigma tradition in the company, so they have used Six Sigma for years already to bring down the throughput time from, I don't know, maybe 11 weeks or something down to 4 weeks. So really a huge progress was made just relying on those classical Six Sigma techniques. But then at a certain point in time, they hit a certain, let's say, barrier. So with these techniques, they just couldn't get further than where they were. And they started to look around for new methods, and that's when they found process mining. And using process mining, they could make that extra leap and actually cut those 4 weeks in half and end up with, about 2 weeks of throughput time and a smaller variation. So a huge impact for this core process in this manufacturing process. So that's the second reason. And so the third reason I also liked a lot is that they did a measurement system analysis. And so let me just quote what Joris wrote and his team members wrote in the submission. He said, as we are a Six Sigma driven company, we are used to pay a lot of attention to the validation of our data. We have the belief that we can only trust the data for which we have performed an MSA or measurement system analysis. During the MSA, it is checked whether the differences between the data set and the real life process is sufficiently small and that the conclusions being drawn upon this data are indeed valid. And I think that's a great point. I mean, data validity is a very important point for process mining in general, and I think it's a good reminder for us to understand that there are a lot of existing data analysis techniques or other methods around, like Six Sigma, for example, who are very mature and have methods that we can actually reuse and also apply in the context of our process mining projects. And then the last reason, and perhaps the most important reason, is that the project or the project that Joris presented very much focused on the aspect what was so powerful about process mining? How could it be that it could cut this throughput time in half after they were not getting further in these 4 weeks with traditional methods, and that the key actually was the capability of process mining to leverage that human knowledge, which is in the process, which is in those, the people who are working in the production line, who are responsible for a certain area in the process. They are the expert for their particular area, but they are not necessarily people who are data, statistics experts or so. So if they see dot plots or statistical charts or numbers, they might not be able to translate that into relevant insight that helps them. So what Joris demonstrated is just some examples of basically by having this explorative analysis with those process managers, production managers, maintenance managers, purchasing managers, supply chain manager, inspection managers, people who are responsible for the business in that area, sitting together, they came up with ideas in a creative way that they wouldn't have come up in any other way. So that really was the basis and laid the foundation to make those improvements to get this great impact for this process improvement. So, so to recap, these were the 4 reasons why we decided that WECO should be the winner of this year's Process Miner of the Year, because it's inspiring to have a manufacturing process, because they had a huge impact. We really liked that they did this measurement system analysis, and that they highlighted this very powerful aspect of leveraging human knowledge. Now, so what we decided to do with this award is basically we created a trophy for the Process Miner of the Year, which is, I show you a photo here, it's a beautiful handmade trophy carved out of wood, which basically reflects also, the precious things we can mine out of our data. And we would like to present this award now to Joris. Joris, please come. And so I asked them to make some photos. So let's maybe. maybe go a little bit further. Once more?
Joris, goed gedaan.
Thank you. Thanks, Joris. Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.